So this is a brief walkthrough of the recovery operations on three specific users: the agent, supervisor, and manager. So let's focus on the first user, which is the agent. So as an agent, this is your personal dashboard. So it represents the current activities that are pending. And as you can see, there are three widgets that shows for you to take in order for you to take certain actions. So the first widget shows the jobs that are being allocated to you, which means you are being assigned to call these relevant customers and obtain a promise date. The second widget shows the reminders in order to follow up with any unanswered calls or calls that were not being able to connect to the customer. And the third widget shows the reminders of the promises given by each customer. So for example, our first scenario will be if the call would not be connected to the customer. So first you will select one of the facilities that were assigned to you. Then obtain the customer contact details through here and call the customer. So in this case, if the customer's line was busy, you will set the outcome of the call as line busy. And then you will set a call reminder activity mentioning the date and time as to when you intend on calling this customer again. And once you created that, you simply close the script. So once you've set the reminder, the relevant activity is displayed on the second widget. So depending on the date that you mentioned, the activity will be displayed in one of the two tabs. So if the date was set to today, it will be displayed on the today's tab, or if you set the activity for a later date, it will be displayed on the upcoming tab. And finally, on that date and time, you will be reminded stating to call the customer. So our second scenario will be if the customer has made a promise. So again, you will select a facility which was assigned to you. And then you obtain the customer's contact details and call the customer. And in this case, if the customer has made a promise, you will set the promise taken as yes and also mention the expected payment date. And once you set that, again, you simply close the screen. So once you've set the expected payment date, the relevant activity reminder will be displayed on the third widget. So it actually shows you all the due and upcoming promises. So as mentioned earlier, you can view promises due within today in the today's tab and all the upcoming promises due in the upcoming tab. And again, you will be reminded to follow up on the customer's promise depending on the date that you mentioned. So the second user that we'll be focusing on is the supervisor. So as the supervisor, this will be your dashboard. And since the supervisor overlooks all the relevant agents, the supervisor can view all the facilities that are being handled by every agent as well. So let's say the supervisor wants to view facilities that are being handled by a specific agent. So the supervisor could simply filter the agent through the filtering option. And all you have to do is just mention the agent's email and click search. So in addition to that, there are also various other ways to filter and get the desired outcomes as well. So the third user that we'll be focusing on is the manager. So the manager has the overview of seeing the progress of the recoveries pipeline through the help of reports and from the dashboard itself. So in our first case, we are in our reports module. So the manager can have as many reports saved if the manager intends on reviewing the same reports on a timely basis. But in case if the manager wants to view a specific type of report, what the manager could do is simply go into the new report and filter the relevant criteria. So in this case, if the manager wants to view how many new recoveries have come within the month for each assignee, the manager could simply filter the date and mention the breakdown, and also mention the series and generate. So one of the essential reports are the recovered amounts for a particular time period. So for example, in order to see a report based on successful recoveries for this month, all you have to do is click on the new report. In the deal state, you mention the state as 1. Then you select the time period as this month. Click next. And you can select the breakdown as an assignee, so the report would break down the values as based on the assignee, and series as the receipt amount. And finally, you generate the report. So once the report is generated, you can also get an overview of this particular report. So if you click on the total, you will have a more summarized view of that particular report. So in addition to that, you also have the options to remove any unnecessary columns as well. So if you click on this icon here, you can remove the columns that you don't need simply by clicking on that column. So in addition, the manager also has the overview of these statistics through the management dashboard as well. So as a default recoveries management dashboard, the manager can have an idea as to how much recoveries have come in for the month, and out of that, how many have been collected and how many are pending, and also how many have been escalated to branch as well. You can also click on the widget to get a full screen overview of the data. So we just click on the full screen icon here relating to that widget. And if you want to get details on a specific facility, you simply click on that facility itself. That facility information simply opens through another full screen view. So this is just one of many statistics a manager can view from the dashboard. Remember, Buzzflow is very flexible. What I showed you is just a sample of what you could do with Buzzflow for your recovery operations. So in addition to that, you could also change the recovery workflow. You could change what information to capture, when to generate reminders, and also create your own dashboard and reports to make your recovery operations more personalized. So this brings us to the conclusion of this brief walkthrough. Thank you for your time.